Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here with another one of my video blogs. Well, those of you that follow me on Twitter have seen in recent months my little crusade about the fact that I believe that the mainstream sports media, and we'll lump in newspapers and television outlets and radio, national radio shows and even local ones, kind of in that mainstream media category, that those outlets just don't cover the sport of boxing barely at all. And I just think it's an injustice to the sport. I do totally recognize that boxing in the United States especially is more of a niche sport than it was 30 or 40 years ago. There's no question about that. And so what I'm suggesting here is not coverage that would rival the NBA or the NFL or Major League Baseball, but coverage that's appropriate and proportionate for the sport. Now, we are headed into a period where we're going to have some phenomenal fights. And already this year, we've had major stories. Bernard Hopkins becoming again the oldest titleist, winning the light heavyweight title. The very thrilling match between Rios and Alvarado and Tim Bradley and Provodnikov. Those fights were spectacular. And so was the Hopkins win in terms of importance in boxing history. And now, as I said, we have a series of great fights coming up, starting with Canelo Alvarez and Austin Trout, and then leading into Garcia and Judah, and of course Mayweather and Guerrero in the big pay-per-view. We've got Nonito Donaire in action. A whole series of great fights. So what I don't understand is, over 1 million people watch all the time on these fights on premium cable, whether it's HBO or Showtime. Often there are large crowds in attendance. There are boxing fans all around the United States. I just think those fans deserve some coverage of these fights. And the problem that boxing has is, until it gets that mainstream media coverage again, it can't tell the stories of these fighters, who are, in my opinion, very good. And I want to make the point one more time. I've made it many times. Boxing's product now is very good. This is a complete canard to suggest that it's not. It has been for a number of years. Of course, it could always be better. But each year, there's dozens of great boxing matches. And so many of them fly under the radar screen in terms of the amount of coverage that they get, so that the casual boxing fan can have a chance to remind themselves that they used to like the sport or discover the sport. And I'm not suggesting here that boxing get coverage that isn't appropriate for where it is in the pantheon of sports, but some coverage would certainly be appreciated.